Hello everybody, welcome to the Scratch tutorial. In this video, I'm going to set up a game to simulate the projectile motion. So the cat is able to throw a ball by controlling its horizontal and vertical speeds. If the ball is able to hit the parrot, then the number of hits will be increased by 1. Otherwise, the ball will return to its initial position, and then you can change the horizontal and vertical speeds again, so that you can press the spacebar to allow the ball to throw again in order to make it hit the parrot. Now let's see how I can play with this project. First, I have to set up the backdrop first. Let me click here, and then I choose the desert. And then I'm going to put the sprite into the correct position. So where is it? Let me ensure that I have chosen the sprite, which is a cat here. And then I can do something like this. So I have to set up an event. When I click on the flag here, I'm going to set the position of my cat to a certain place. I can set X to -200. And then Y to another value, for example, -130. And then I want to set up a variable to really remember the number of hits that the cat can do on a certain parrot. So let me do it now. Before doing so, I have to set up a variable which is called hits. And it is used for all the sprites. And then I choose hits here. When I click on the flag, I want to reset the game, so the number of hits made by the cat is just 0 at the beginning. So I leave it as 0 here. And then I can put hits to this place, so that I can have some space to control the speed of the ball later on. And then I make the ball now. Choose a sprite, and then I choose a basketball. And then when I click on the basketball, the theme has changed to a basketball. And then when I want to refresh the game by clicking on the flag, the ball has to do something. When the flag is clicked, I want the ball to reset to its original position, like this one. That's why I have to create my own block. The name is called reset ball. Click OK. And this reset ball is something like this. Here. How can I define this block? Let me show you my way. I want to put the ball to this lower left-hand corner. Sorry, I should choose the variables. I want to set the ball position. And the position of the ball can be represented by 2 values, which are the X and Y positions. So I have to set up the variables first. The first one is called initial X. The other one is called initial Y. Initial X can be set at -100. Initial Y can also be -100. And then I can just set the ball to these 2 positions. I put the variable here. Also, I put set Y to initial Y. And then my formula of the projectile motion depends on the time. That's why I have to set the time variable as well, which is a varying value that controls the motion of the ball, horizontally and vertically. So I have to set up a variable called time. since I click on the flag, I should make the entire game to the initial stage. So that's why the time can be chosen as 0. And the time can be a value not to be shown to the player. So I can just hide it by right-clicking this time box, and then I choose hide. Okay. And these two variables called initial x and initial y are not needed in the control of the game, so I can also hide them. Okay. And I forgot to put the position of the cat correctly, so let me see. When I click on it, the cat seems to be a bit large. That's why I have to change the size. For example, I can turn it to 70. Is it possible? Yes, it is quite possible. And the ball can be a bit different in the initial position. How about minus 160? For x, and for y, can it be minus 110? Okay, when I just click on the flag, the cat and the ball are in the correct position, and I can change the size of the cat to be a bit larger. How about 80? Yes, it is a better way, because it seems like the ball is of the same size as the head of the cat. Okay, how can I control the ball? The ball is a bit tricky here. After I click on the flag, I have defined the initial ball position. So how about the real motion of the ball? My idea is to press the space bar to really start the motion of the ball. So how can I do it? Let me show you my way. When the space is pressed, I want to really do the repetition of the horizontal and vertical motion of the ball. So I say repeat until. So the idea is like this. I want to use the formula shown here. For the horizontal motion of the ball, I use this one. x0 is just the initial x, and vx here means the horizontal velocity of the ball, and t is the time. And for the vertical position, it is controlled by this formula. The initial y position, followed by the vertical velocity, and the gravitational acceleration called g. Let me try to set these two formulas to the program. I want to set x first. And we know that we have to provide the speed of the ball on the screen so that the motion can be created. That's why I have to set the variables first. Ball speed x, ball speed y. And then the formula is like this. Ball speed x times the time. And then I have to add this value to the initial position of the ball along the horizontal direction. So the x position is done in this way, according to the formula shown on the web page. And then I can do similar things to the position of y. The formula is a bit different. Ball speed y times time. We have to do subtraction. We have to do a multiplication as well. for the time quantity. Time times time to make time square. And then we have to do some more multiplication. When we look at the formula, we have half g. And the value of half g can be represented by a certain constant because half g is just a constant. G can be a value like, for example, 9.81 meters per second squared. So that's why I can just use a certain constant to replace the rho played by half g shown here. Okay, and then I can just use a value. For example, I use 0.2 to play the role of half g, so that the formula is created. And don't forget to add the initial position of the y. So the value of y is like this one. And I want to spin the ball every time I have a movement. That's why I have to turn the ball by 15 degrees every time the motion is set up. And I have to complete this one, repeat until something. So I want the ball to have a projectile motion until the ball has really touched the parrot or the ball has moved away from the screen shown on the game panel. So I have to do some sensing. The ball cannot touch the edge. Or the ball has hit the parrot. So now you see I have to add a parrot first so that I can really do the motion correctly. Choose a sprite, and then I want to choose the parrot. Parrot here. Okay. So the parrot is like this one. When I want to reset the position every time I press the flag, I really do something like this. Now I set up a block called reset parrot. How can I do the reset? I can have an idea like this one. I want to set the position first. The bird can be at random position every time the flag is pressed. So the position can be minus 20 to positive 100 or 160, for example. And then I do similar things for the Y position. Minus 50 to 150. So that every time I click on the button here, the parrot has changed its position randomly. Of course, I have to reduce the size of the parrot. How about like this one? Oh, it can be a bit smaller. How about 30? Right, 30 is quite good. So when I click on it, the position of the parrot has changed every time. Okay. Since I already want the ball to really touch the parrot in order to allow the heating action, I really have to set up the parrot in more detail. So the parrot is going to have some motion every time the time has passed. So I can do something like this. Repeat until the ball has really touched the parrot. touching the basketball. Before the bird really touches the basketball, it can have some kind of flying action. So how can I do it? I can just change the look. Parrot A, the custom is called Parrot A, and then I wait for about 0.5 minutes. Sorry, 0.5 seconds. So after I wait for 0.5 seconds, I change another costume. Yes, Parrot B. And then I wait for another 0.5 seconds. So let me try. So you see when I click the flag, you see the parrot is trying to fly. Now let me turn back to the ball here. So I have set up the condition in which the ball is able to really take in the projectile motion when it is not touching the edge or when it is not touching the parrot. And then how about the case when the ball really touches the parrot? Let me show you my approach. If this case really happens, I have to do something. If the ball really touches the parrot, I have to really tell the parrot that you are being hit. So I have to broadcast something to the parrot. The message is a new message called set parrot. Okay, this is the signal to tell the parrot to change its position after it is being hit. And at the same time, I want to tell the cat that it has to say something. So I also broadcast another message called hit, so that the cat can tell us that the ball really hits the parrot. And then after these two broadcasts, I have to reset the ball to its original position. Okay. If the parrot isn't really touching the ball, I have to do something else. So I should change this thing to if then else rather than just if then. Okay. If the ball really misses the parrot, I have to say miss, so that the cat can really announce this important message to the player of the game. And then, after this broadcast, I have to allow the cat to wait for 2 seconds. After the waiting, I have to reset the ball position to its original one. In this way, the player can have another chance to do the hitting again. Okay, this is the major idea of the setup. If the spacebar is pressed, I have to do the motion of the ball, but we have to understand that the motion is controlled by the variable called time. So I have to also change the value of the time every time we need the motion to undertake. When the space is pressed, I have to really change the time accordingly. I have to repeat the addition of time so that the motion can be undertaken. So if the ball isn't touching the edge or the parrot, the time has to be incremented. So when I use change time by 1, I just want to say that the time is incremented by 1 unit every time the ball really needs the motion. Okay. So now I have to handle the broadcasting actions. So first I can go back to the cat. When the cat receives the hit message, What does it do? It has to say the parrot is hit. Say hit for 2 seconds. And after that I have to increase the number of hits by 1. This is a variable to indicate the number of hits. Okay. And how about the situation when the ball really misses the parrot? It is quite natural that the cat has to say miss. When I receive miss, what should I do? I say something else. I say missed for 2 seconds. So this is the way the cat can respond to the success or the failure of hitting the parrot. And then let me go back to the parrot. When the parrot is hit, the game has to set the parrot to another position so that the game can continue with another round of the throw of the ball. Set parrot. So when the ball is hitting the parrot, the parrot has to change its position. So I say wait for 2 seconds. And I really reset the parrot position. So when the parrot is really hit, it can change its position for the second turn of the game. Now, if I want to really change the speed of X and Y, I can turn it to a slider. Okay, so the horizontal speed and the vertical speed can be varied by these two sliders. So let me play the game now. And I set X as 10 and Y as 6. When I press the space bar, as you see, the ball has missed the parrot. So the parrot has its original position because it is not hit yet. And the game wants you to have another chance to really hit this parrot. So in this case, I try to increase the vertical speed as well as the horizontal speed. When I press the space, okay, you see the ball isn't able to really hit the parrot, and the ball will return to its original position. So it seems like I shouldn't have a very large horizontal speed as well as the vertical speed. So how about this situation? Yes, you can see that the ball is hit. How about this one? You see, missed. So that's why I have to change the horizontal speed to be a bit slower, and the vertical speed should also be a bit smaller. How about this time? Yes, I can really hit the ball. And now the position has changed to another place. So how about this time, when I keep the same horizontal and vertical speeds? You'll see I will miss the parrot again. That's why I can try another one. How about this one and this one for the horizontal and vertical speed? Yes, I can really hit the thing. To simulate the hitting situation a bit better, I can add control here. I can wait the motion for 2 seconds. So when I try it here, you can see that I still missed the ball. And how about this time? I still missed it. So how about this one? Yes, you can see that the ball has really touched the parrot. So this game is quite simple to really help you understand the projectile motion according to the formula shown on the web page. And then I just realized the formulas on the web page and make a simple game like this one by controlling the horizontal speed and the vertical speed. And if the ball has already hit the parrot, the number of hits will be increased by 1. This is the end of the video. If you have any questions about my video, please leave your questions on the comment section below the video. If you like this video, please give me a like and please subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching.